So I'm out here in the garage with Ruby. I'm going to run through the 5-year, 100,000 mile Tesla charts and graphs with you guys. Don's in the house, looking at the charts he built last night, getting ready to talk to you about those. I'm going to go ahead and put this information at the front of the video, and then I'll put the normal daily stuff, the countdown to 100K, my trip over to Tesla today, the cats, the usual daily content after the stuff that some other people will be tuning in just to see, which is the 100K information. So this is Ruby's lifetime map that TeslaFi built for us. It shows where she's traveled, and we are mostly a within North Carolina driving family, but we have gone into Virginia, down to South Carolina, and just shy of making it over to Tennessee. We were within 7 miles. And the way this map works is it gets darker in the areas that you've traveled a lot, and then it's this really light color in the areas that you haven't traveled a lot, too much, or only once. And he added recently, the developer for TeslaFi, that it puts in charging stops. It puts in where you stop. So recently I didn't charge in Wilmington on this recent trip, but we have charged in Wilmington before. And then, of course, Wallace and Warsaw we were at. And so it's showing that. I do want to comment that it shows miles driven as 97,049, but that is not an odometer reading. That is how many miles since we turned on TeslaFi for this car. So we did not have it on for Ruby in the very beginning. TeslaFi only stores the data that it collects once you turn it on. The API, the data that's coming to the app, is very real time, and unless there's something out there saving it, it's sort of there for a little bit, and then it goes away. But at any point, this map over the years has seen that spread out a little bit more, and also obviously thick and heavy around the Raleigh area. I will be making a trip with Johnny next weekend over here to Gastonia for a robotics competition, and so we'll add another leg, a little stronger leg, out in that direction. So I decided to do the charts real time this year, and I'm going to go back over here to my software updates. And each year when I've reported yearly, and you can see the odometer here is at 100,000, 18 miles, 0.68. So 100,018 miles. It does actually show the odometer on the screens as well. Ruby is also charging right now behind me. She's pretty quiet. I don't hear any fans running during this charging session, but she's also she's charging at 32 amps. At any point, it seems like each year we get approximately 20 software updates. We're about halfway through 2022, and I counted 11 a while ago when I looked at this chart. So that's about par for the, of course, that's about what we would typically expect. And of course, now, yay, we have the beta software on the car. This is how TeslaFi conveys, with a little red number down there, the beta version versus the actual version that's out in the field. So those are actually two different numbers, but there's a lot of stuff, and sometimes it's fixes and sometimes it's new things. Like, I am really loving the waypoints and totally utilizing that several times in the last week to figure out my route and understand how my charge is going to be doing several trips in a row. And they're always adding something new, and I still look forward to those updates as much now as I did back in the very beginning. But about 20 a year, 126, 106 in 5 years time. So come back over here. Let's do the charge summary next. And this is lifetime. I did not put a starting and ending date. I went in and fixed Tesla Glenwood Avenue versus Tesla Westgate. So because it's two different locations for Tesla now, and it was showing up um, like that. I probably could draw the circle big enough to collect both of those spots and how much energy has been put in total by Tesla when we were in for service or something like that. But right now the original location and the old location are showing up separately. And again, this is for all 5 years, but I could put in a starting date and let's just play with it just a little bit. We'll do the beginning of this year, January 1st through today's date, and tell it to go show us that. And then it's going to take out some of the stuff. So AC charging this year has just been home, and when Ruby was up at service. Also, I guess that has pared down the total supercharging. So let me go back and wipe this out now and show for all time again. And it's put a lot more stuff up here now. I renamed Rocky Mount and I renamed Carrie, and I was going to fix the rest of these so they were all in the same format because my OCD was bothered by the fact that there's some of them, and it's what I typed in or maybe what Don typed in. They're not in the same format, but it takes a while to rebuild the charge records, and I'm happy to report that Rocky Mount is back because for a few minutes it disappeared. Of course, it gave me a message, Teslafy did, that it was rebuilding the records because I had changed something in them, but it's always capable of taking the data has stored in the database and rebuilding the charts if you change something or something isn't right that you need to fix. But anyway, the charger we've been to the most at is Rocky Mount, and that's really no surprise because the track's up that way. C4EE, the solar farm, is up there. The bird park is out that way. I mean, we've just had a lot of reasons to go through Rocky Mount. I was surprised that North Hills was actually next in the list, but I guess that's because we did some videos with Kyle over there, and there's been a few school mornings when I've had to stop by, and we had a Tesla Divas meetup up there. I mean, there's been reasons to be over in that area, just besides I forgot to charge a couple times a year in the morning. But 2 times 5 would be 10. So if twice a year I needed to head over to that supercharger to charge because I forgot the night before, you could easily see how it could be up to 11 charges at that location. I was also a little surprised Asheville wasn't higher. But we had Jules up there this last time, and that's probably why. As many times as we charged Jules while we were in town for the Blue Ridge Parkway Drive, if we had put those chargers on Ruby, then the Asheville charger obviously would, and Hickory charger too, would have bumped up higher on the list. Anyway, you can see here what it's showing for each one of these charges. And it gives us some other totals down here, how many total kilowatts we've added. That's really an interesting number for the house. 40,000 kilowatts added, 44,000 used because some is lost in the charging process. Don's going to talk a little bit about this, and I think he decided to go mostly with the Teslafy numbers because the meter we have on the wall back there is for both cars now, and it wouldn't apply to just Ruby. If you see a question about the charts, feel free to leave it in the comments, and Don or I will come back and answer that for you. Let's see, under drive summary. Yeah, this is just the top destinations, obviously home and the school and the local Walmart and Guardian Angel, Taekwondo, Pokemon, Whole Foods, the places that I always say I'm at in the videos. Well, that's where I'm always at, right? It's given us our longest drives. The longest we went in Ruby, it says, is 203 miles. I think that was like on the way coming home from a a, 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 stop up close to Virginia that day. I don't know. We don't intentionally try to push Ruby down to a short percentage, and we also like to stop and stretch our legs and use the restroom. So we were not particularly trying to have super long drives, but that is interesting to see as well. And temperature efficiency, it says the same thing that it's always said. The bar is the miles recorded at that temperature, and then the dotted line is the efficiency. And we know that the cars are pretty efficient when they're warm, but not over warm. So there's not a huge difference between 45 to 50 and 70 to 75, but Ruby really likes to be between 65 and 85 degrees for the highest efficiency of drives. When we're over 95, she drops back, obviously, and when we're down below 40, she drops back. So, the sweet spot somewhere in between, 60 and 85, 65 and 85, something along in there. Same is true for speed efficiency. You always hear that the cars are more efficient at slower speeds, and Ruby's highest efficiencies are between 25 miles per hour and 45 miles per hour. But she's pretty efficient at 20 and 50. But you can really see, and I don't know what this must have been had help from the wind out on the interstate at 70 or 75, and there's not a lot over 80, although I would say that she's been over 80 a little bit. But you can see that in the 60 to 65, she drops 10 percentage points down from 93% to 83%. So around town driving is slower speeds are more efficient than higher speed. But obviously, there's other factors in there, like what was the weather like? What was the wind like? Were you behind a semi truck? I mean, it's more complicated than just this straightforward. Although, again, slower speeds typically result in better efficiency, especially if you match up slower speeds and warm but not too warm temperatures, right? And let's see, the odometer graph, it shows a little level off during COVID, like you would have expected. We probably would have realistically been at 100,000 miles in 4 years if it wasn't for the fact that we didn't drive a whole lot from January of 20 until really September of 21. It was closer to 18 months of more of a flat line, and then as soon as school picked back up, we went right, back up on the chart there. I'm not sure about this little dip right here. I think that was probably odometer 0 miles. That was probably a temporary reading from Teslafy while the MCU was being replaced, and then the data was put. Obviously, the odometer was left set to what it was before. But and you can prove that here on the line, but there must have been a reading where it was 0 while she was offline or something, and then it shows that little dip there. Not a big deal. um and I don't know that I looked at the tire pressure map before. um this is the temperature, okay, on the left over here, and then front left, front right, rear left, rear right. So the lime green is front left, and you can see for the most part that the tires are together. That they all are about the same pressure being over here on the right. That's interesting. Teslafy did add the current tire pressure up here in the upper right hand corner. So anytime I log in, I see, yeah, all the tires look good, or I need to tell Dawn, it got cold out and the pressure's reading low now in the fall. Please go put some air in before I get an alert in the morning and it startles me, distracts me, whatever. So that might be all the ones I wanted to tell you about today. I just look one more time. There was one other graph. I think it was on the calendar I did it for the year that I looked at a while ago. And you can see for January, February, March, that the months look very, very similar during the school year. And then we had a break from school. We had the Easter break, so we were out there for a week, and it was really like Friday and then maybe a holiday in there or something. And then in May, we had a couple extra mile days here, but tapered off when school stopped, and then high gear trying to, reach 100K by the 5 year delivery day, birthday, anniversary. But I thought that was pretty cool. And just to show you, too, for those of you that are not super used to looking at Teslafy stuff, this is what the monthly summary looks like. And it'll have the blocks filled in for every day that I've driven. So I was at Tesla today, I was at Whole Foods, I was at Guardian Angel Apex, I obviously was home, and I was at the chiropractor. So it puts symbols up there as a little shorthand for where you've been. There were 8 separate drives today, just shy of 80 miles, 422 watt hours per mile. But I'm going to tell you that I ran the air conditioner when I was out of the car at 80, and Ruby was really struggling to stay cool today. Because we were near 100 degrees here. We hit at least 96 degrees. And she says the average temperature outside was 91, but of course that takes into account the whole day. So, and she's got a nice monthly summary up here. So far this month, I've driven 1,366 miles. Watt hours per mile at 387 is up there, both probably the speeds to and from the beach and the heat. And time spent driving and number of supercharges, and she's got a nice little monthly summary going on up there. So I think that's all the stuff I wanted to show you. Yeah, if you have any questions about Teslafy or specific to the data that I showed you here today on the screens, just ask me in the comments and I'll let you know.
Well, this is the 5th year for Ruby. Today's her birthday, so we thought we'd go over the cost of Ruby. The actual purchase price of the Model X 100D was $121,000. There's a $1,125 destination fee, a $75 dot fee, so the cash price was $122,200. We've got a $1,000 credit because we used a referral code, and that also got us free lifetime for the life of our ownership of the car supercharging. North Carolina doesn't have a sales tax, but they have something called a highway use tax. And of course there's the registration fee. So the actual purchase price of Ruby was $125,023. We got the $7,500 federal tax credit. So the actual cost basis for Ruby was $117,523. So the first year, basically we had insurance, taxes, tag, no maintenance, no tires, but we spent $465 on electricity. So the first year we spent $1,906 on expenses, and we had her for 6.5 months, so that worked out to be $293 a month. If you go on through the rest of the years, in 2018 we had to buy tires, which is actually our single biggest line item expense. We bought our first set of tires in 2018, so the whole expenses that year was $5,767. And of course electricity at $910 was moderate. 2019, again, more tires, and $980 this time in electricity. So we spent a total of $5,024 in expenses, which is about $419 a month. Now that $419 a month, that includes again all the expenses, but not the actual purchase price of the car. I'll get to that in just a second. And so 2020, you really see the impact of the pandemic. our electricity costs were only $380 that year. We didn't have any actual tires since we didn't drive very far. We didn't go through a set of tires. And the only repair we had, which I was very pleased with, that we actually had to pay for, was the $50.41 for the actuator for the passenger door. 2021, we bought a set of tires last year, $1,613. The electricity, well, we semi-normal, back up to $529. So that was $3,736 for 2021, which worked out to be about $311 a month. Now, for 2022, it's a partial year. So I probably shouldn't have put the full year's insurance, but I basically doubled the insurance. But the taxes, we've actually had to pay the taxes and the tag. The maintenance so far is $517. That was for the scroll wheels. Marianne had problems with her turn signals, and the horn and all that stuff didn't work, and we took her up there and got that. But that's been the only repair this year. The cameras were free and things like that. Electricity is $325 so far this year, so that's $3,052, which is about $555 a month. So if you add up all the expenses that we've had besides the purchase price, it's $21,621 for the 5 years, and that averages out to about $4,324 per year. So now let's add in the actual cost of the purchase price. So I added the cost basis and then added the expenses every year. So far, counting all the money that we've spent on Ruby for everything, we've spent $139,144 on her. Now, the out-of-pocket, if you figure, I looked it up, she's worth approximately $65,000. We may not be able to get that. Just depends on how valuable full self-driving is. So that means that we really spent $74,000 on Ruby. So one of the things you can ask yourself, now that we've had it for 5 years, if you assume no residual cost, and you take the $139,000 divided by 5, that works out to be $27,829 a year, which is about $2,300 a month, which is about $76 a day. Now that's the total cost of the purchase price, the maintenance, insurance, and everything. So, if you were to quote rent Ruby, and she had no value at the end of the rental, it would cost you $76 a day. But if you assume that Ruby's got a value of approximately $65,000, that changes it a little bit. She comes down to $41 a day, about $1,236 a month, and about $14,829 per year. Now, that also, I guess, if you want to look at, assuming you drive 20,000 miles a year, that price would be $1.39 per mile, or 74 cents a mile to drive the car. So that gives you a good idea. But if you exclude the purchase price, Ruby costs us $12 a day, and that includes, again, the maintenance, tires, insurance, electricity, everything. So it's $12 a day, about $360 a month, $4,324 per year, and it works out to be about 22 cents a mile. Now, if you just want to know what the electricity cost was for that 20,000 miles, it works out to about 3.58 cents per mile. Marianne asked me to come up with some numbers in case you wanted to know how much driving the equivalent with a gas car would have cost us. So gasoline at $4.69 a gallon at 20 miles per gallon, that's 23 cents per mile, is what that turns out to be. So you could simply say, take everything, all the cost, the tires, and the maintenance, and just say, oh, all of a sudden Ruby's turned into a gasoline powered car. Instead of 22 cents per mile, it would cost us 41 cents a mile. And of course, that would add up over 20,000 miles. It would cost $8,297 instead of $4,324 to drive Ruby for this fictitious year she was a gas car. So effectively, by Ruby being electric versus a gasoline car, we're saving we save probably $3,973 in gas. So that's pretty good. Now, obviously, $4.69. The gas prices are up right now. It was cheaper than that at the beginning, but I'm one of those people who don't think the gas price is going to go down any significant amount, and it's going to be very slow. I think the days of $2.75 gas is pretty much over at this point. So I'm going to show you the actual costs of the various repairs and maintenance type stuff, tires, inspections that we spent on Ruby. I've color coded it to help it a little easier to read for the years. The first year we spent $2,799, and we bought a set of tires that year at 22,704 miles. Really, the actual expense was the $1,099, which was the 25,000 mile service. This was back in the days when Tesla had a recommended service period. So we did do that 25,000 mile service, and that was in 2018. And then 2019. We bought another set of tires, and we had an inspection. We had a control arm go bad, and we paid for that $587. And then Tesla actually comped us the other right control arm. In other words, we put the one on the passenger side, and they comped us the one on the driver's side. So that was nice. That was also the year that we had I ran off the track up there on a track day with Ruby, and that total repair for that was $4,392. But we had a credit for a Powerwall, so that money paid for that actual repair. So if you subtract out the track damage and the if you subtract out the track damage, the actual money we spent was $2,011 in 2019. And then the 2020, a similar situation. We had that rear engine collision. We bought an MCU, and Tesla credited us that money back, and we paid for the upgrade, and Tesla credited us that money back. So we actually paid $7,000, but with the fact that the insurance paid and Tesla refunded us our money for the two MCUs, we actually only spent $50.41, and that was for the front door actuator in 2020. Another set of tires in 2021, and then we had to replace the rear tire. I forget what happened, but basically it couldn't be repaired, and so we had to replace the tire. And that also, I think, includes a front end repair. And then the only expenses that wasn't a tire is the $517 for the scroll wheels. So that's basically how all the various different repairs for Ruby that we've had over the 5 years.
It's 8 o'clock and it's already 79 degrees. You coming for your food? Come on, bud, let's go. Let's go. Come on, bud. Come on, bud, let's go. These summer mornings are filled with pet a cat here, water a plant there. Pet a cat, water a plant. Try to keep things happy. Yep, that's what summer mornings are filled with. She's got a fly at the door. I hoped when I opened the door he came out. Let me try again. Don asked me if I wanted him to get out Ruby or Jules, and I said, Jules, just do our normal routine. Sticky, sticky, sticky.
Oh, yeah, Ruby's birthday isn't quite as nice as it should be. She ought to have a perfect day for her birthday.
Well, there's actually some rain out to the west that we weren't expecting this morning, and yeah. I'm sure Don would have totally cleaned up Ruby for her birthday if only he'd had time. You know, when you get you to drive around the countryside on Sunday afternoons, that kind of takes away car washing time.
Yeah, I only got a couple, 3 hours, good hours in me a day. You know, the rest I need recuperation.
Well, Don spent 3 hours on charts last night?
Yeah.
Easy, maybe 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I can't complain. We'll record the segments with him talking about the charts later, but the charts are the hard part, and that's ready to go.
You know, really, it doesn't feel as bad today as it did yesterday. The sun's not as strong.
Yeah, and also there's a good gentle breeze. The breeze makes all the difference. Poor Don. Dang it. Yesterday up at the park was just bad for trash in particular. Kind of expected out here on the road, but the splash pad, all the people at the splash pad, they're not doing what they need to do before they leave for the day. Leave it better than you found it, people. Please, please, please. Well, Donnie, there's the street sweeper machine. Maybe the parking lot at least won't have a lot of trash down on it today. Sweep it right on up for you. The tornado, it says. It does raise up a little bit of dust, though. Father and son out here before the heat of the day, although it's plenty hot, doing batting practice. This gentleman up here's got a fully stocked backpack on. It's about Don's age. I'm impressed. Hauling myself around the track is enough, let alone carrying a backpack. Sometimes people practice for going on trails. Some of the longer Appalachian walks or sea to ocean, mountain to ocean walk or something. Training. Oh wow, they're gonna have to walk around and pick up all those balls afterward. They need a third person hustling in the outfield. You can sort of see the storm clouds over to the west towards Greensboro. He's making contact quite a good bit. Swings a little down. A lot of the balls hit early on the dirt and then continue because they've got speed and power, but the swing's a little low, little into the ground. Slight change up and he'd be knocking them out of the park. That's why you practice. All right, one more time around. Somebody just went past South Park with a loud motorcycle of some sort, really, honestly. Sometimes the world seems too loud. Don's gonna walk home with me today. I mean, walk back to the car. Looks like we've missed the rain. I'd have been okay if it had rained on us as long as it wasn't a severe storm. We're hot. But we did it. We're almost back to the car. This is where Tuck sleeps, on the side of the house. It's nice and cool down in there. Hi, buddy. He's a good boy. He come out to see his mama. Oh my goodness. Stripe was in. No. Stripe was in there too. Oh my. The boys did settle back down. Tuck's here on the bench. Stripe was on the carpet over there, but a squirrel or a bird caught his attention and he got up a minute ago. Marty's close by too. I can see Marty through the coleus plant there, the orange plant. He's just on the ground in front of it. Stripe's actually behind the chair over there. Like I said, I think a squirrel caught his attention and he got up from where he had gone to nap. You ready to go, Ruby? Say, of course I am. So for today I have the chiropractor in Apex, Guardian Angel in Apex, and I think I'll drive up to Tesla on Glenwood Avenue, film a little segment about Ruby, and then Whole Foods and Carry and home. So I'm just sort of adding Tesla in there, and I'm kind of doing that because I need the extra miles, because Ruby needs, let's see, on trips, she needs 41 miles in order to reach 100,000 today, which that's the goal, because today is the 14th and we took delivery of Ruby on June the 14th 2017. 61 miles should be totally doable, but probably not without adding in a little side trip. So I think Tesla would be a great side trip today. Let's go. All right, I'm here with 5 minutes to spare. I have to wonder if it's really going to get to be as hot as they predicted today, because it's so cloudy. There was a little bit of raindrops on the windshield. Not a lot, but a little. It's actually fairly comfortable out here right this minute.
So I found out that the temperature is going to be 99 high today. I was wondering this morning when I checked the thermostat, there was no message. But when I went by the thermostat later, I saw the energy saving event message, and I clicked it to see if there's anything new, and there wasn't. It hasn't actually set the thermostat yet, but that it's going to happen. This is about a little bit after 11 when I'm doing this right here.
All right, I'm down to needing, 43 miles from 61 where we started this morning. I'm done at the chiropractor and headed over to Guardian Angel Apex, and that is a close trip. That can't be more than 3 or 4 miles, something like that. 2.2 miles, 7 minutes, it's close. I've never seen this pattern before, but it's old school Corel. Corning. Real stuff, USA stuff. They had the plates too. They're not in great shape and not exactly my preferred color scheme. Oh wow, they got the dessert plates and the saucers and the bowls. It's rough on the outer edge. They've been well loved. Look at all the milk glass. I still have my mother's, but it's not out on display. This piece is kind of cool. Wow, no doubt some kid would love that. That's new since last week, and I predict it goes pretty quick. So a pillow sham, a Life Factory bottle, and 1 Corel plate. Well, now that the sun's out full strength, it is feeling a little bit warmer out here. Although when I first came out of Guardian Angel, which has a brand new air conditioner over here, it was plenty cool in there. I didn't feel it for a few minutes because I was all chilled down from shopping. I just really don't want to go through this construction zone, at least not in both directions. So I'm going to go out to 64 and just right here and get on 540 and come around in the other way. And we didn't go very far, but so we need 41 miles. Well, it's 96 out there, and as you would have expected, I've got the autopilot camera's unavailable message, which is a bummer because I'm fixing to get back on the turnpike and I certainly would have used it. That looks like the wrap that I1 Tesla had on their Y. A little bit. It's olive green. It says, "This is why." Electric Q. Very pretty red Model Y. 4 miles away from Tesla. That car was headed in the direction of the old location. I'm headed in the direction of the new location. There must be an accident right here at Tesla, or they're taking in a car trailer or something, because I can see a gap in the traffic up to the stoplight, and I don't know what that was or what's going on, but it was definitely not normal traffic flow. There's a guy up here at Tesla. I'm thinking there's a car hauler and they're trying to get it in the lot, but I can't see above that tall van. I don't know for sure. Since I want to get into Tesla parking lot, I'm just going to be patient and wait it out. Wow. Just wow. I'm just driving nice and slow through here. I mean, serious, this is all, you know, deliveries taking place versus, yeah, holy moly. Holy moly. Yep. Well, you know what? I'm thinking that maybe, just maybe, I should move Ruby's service appointment until after the end of the quarter. You know, my appointment's on the 23rd. Maybe one more week out would be good. Because, you know, there's just no place to park. So I don't know what's going on with him, but he's backed into Tesla now. So maybe parts, I don't know. But oh my goodness, is it busy up here today. I would say a few of these cars, maybe employees and or trade-ins, I don't know. Well, like I said, I'd like to have gone in, but there's just no place to park, and there's so many cars coming and going. It's not even good. Where I was stopped for a minute with my flashers on, I got out and I took a picture, and now I'm gonna head out. Just wow.
So one thing I was able to experiment with, apparently when it decides to cool you down to before it raises the thermostat up, it lowers it 2 degrees. It was on 76 the other day when it did this, and it went to 74. Today I had it set to 77 and it bumped it down to 75. Now I have bumped it back up here to 77 because honestly I'm cold back there at this point, because that room that I work from, I'm right on top of a vent, and Marianne's not home right now. So anyway, I think we'll be watching this thing here and see what it does, and then maybe they're going to bump it up to 79 or something like that. I'll probably turn it back down to 77. We'll see.
I'm getting on the belt line, headed back down to Whole Foods, and I should be about 2 miles short of 100,000 when I get there. We'll see. I'll be watching it. Alright, 5 miles away from 100,000 now. It's just kind of exciting. I'm a math major after all. Numbers are one of my things. Fixing to get off here at the Tryon Road exit. And I should be within a couple of miles of Whole Foods now. The only thing I have to get at Whole Foods today is a bottle of organic vanilla extract. Ruby was feeling a little warm, So I took her off auto and I put her on recycled air, and I also took it off my legs and just put it on my face. And now I'm feeling like the cabin is cool, but at 96 degrees, it's just flat out hot out there today. All right, 3 miles away. 9998. So should I go into Whole Foods and have it hit after, or should I drive down the street, get my 100,000 and then go to Whole Foods? I'm trying to decide. I'm just right here at Kildare Farm and Tryon Road. Whole Foods is just to my right. Okay, I think I'm gonna go past Whole Foods, get my 100,000, and then circle back to Whole Foods. Nine, 5 nines. $100,000, woo! Right here at the corner of Penny Road and Kildare Farm Road. So the reason why Ruby got hot for a little bit is because just, the passenger side was on 80 and the driver's side was on 70. It had, I'm sure, to do with me bumping it up going into one of my recent stops and accidentally hitting the split button or something. Once I straightened that out, it got much cooler in the car and I was totally happy, so phew. Alright, I do have the vanilla extract, but I left the store, got a few steps outside, remembered that the one thing I had to get, I had not gotten, went back in and went through the self-checkout with that one item. I'm having trouble with the cart today. Oh, this hill. It's steeper than you think. So yeah, I bought $200 worth of groceries. I didn't get the one thing I needed and had to go back. Totally human here today. So Ruby and I, we did it. Yeah. We did it. It was
100,000 miles. Very proud of you and Ruby.
Thank you. You know, you and I basically celebrated on Sunday, and Michelle and I celebrated last week. And if Johnny wasn't so busy enjoying his summer, he and I would celebrate it too. But I thought we'd just walk around the car for a minute and say how great she's held up.
Right, can do that.
So if you look just right over here, there's a little boo-boo. Don't hang anything on the wall of the garage near your car. That would be that boo-boo. That was not a door ding in a parking lot. Also, make sure that your seat belt is always properly back inside the car before you close the car door. That's what that little tiny scratch is there. We don't have any idea how this happened. It just showed up one day. And I'm sure we could take it to some vinyl place and they could make it look better if we wanted to, but we haven't done it. Both Falcon Wing doors have some rub. I think pretty much every Model X on the planet has a little rub. I don't care. We'll just call it a beauty mark. It's not going to rust because it's aluminum. And they, at one point, under warranty, they put on new bump stops. And I don't think it got any worse after that. I guess there's a little bit here too. Some people tried to make Tesla paint it and had a meltdown over it. That was not the way I wanted to proceed. It's just a little beauty mark, and both sides have that. It's no big deal. If you're gonna get an X, I would just say probably expect a little rub on the door somewhere. So we were rear-ended Christmas 2019? 18. Well, a long time ago, and they put Ruby back together just fine. I unfortunately allowed a little boo-boo on the repaired bumper, but we won't talk about how that happened. But that was me. All the boo-boos on Ruby, which is the right answer, right? Were caused by me or just happened.
That's right.
Another lesson is don't always get out of your out of your car to get the mail from the mailbox. There's a little scuff there that could probably be buffed out. Don't be lazy. Don't try to get the mail while you're still sitting in your car. You need to get out and get the mail. Yeah. So I park really far away so nobody will ding the door or do anything bad to Ruby, and then everything else. And she's got 2 or 3 fixed cracks in the windshield, little dings, little tiny dings. You can't really hardly see them. Safe Life did a good job.
For sure. Right.
Yeah, one is up near the autopilot housing on the other side. It'd be very hard for you to see. We talked about it when it happened. Did I miss anything that you can think of?
As far as the dings and stuff
Or
like
yeah. She has rim rash on one wheel, just a little bit.
Yeah.
I didn't do it.
Yeah, I did that. I'm the rim rash guy.
It is tiny in comparison to some wheels you've seen. I mean, it's really not very much.
Yeah.
She's held up well. She's held up well.
This little thing right here. This part right here.
Right.
I don't know. It's been that way for a couple years.
Yeah, it had like a little something got caught in it and it separated down. Almost looks like there's a rock or something up underneath there, maybe. I don't know. But I suspect that's the same on all of the X's.
Yeah, I tried to push it and make it go back or snap back in, and I couldn't do it, so I just left it alone.
But I think Ruby's held up really well. The paint looks great still.
Yeah.
Our seats. I know Kyle showed the seats when he talked about Ruby, but they've held up really well.
Yeah.
And the dash and the steering wheel. Kyle thought the steering wheel, I think the word he used was greasy, and we disagree that she's dirty in any way. She's real leather, and there's a little tiny bump on the bottom, probably from one of my rings, but otherwise that wheel has held up great. We're happy with it. So I don't know. I don't see any major problems. You've been sitting all afternoon, you poor thing.
Yeah, I'm ready for my nap.
Yeah, sorry Ruby's not all clean on her birthday, but it is what it is. Don will, get around to that sometime.
Yeah, I'll clean it up here a little bit.
Yeah. Not right now, but we do have this problem when people sit in the middle row that the seat belts get twisted up inside of here. You'll come and you'll see the seat belt is just not right. And Don's able to pull it out and straighten it back up every single time. And I have tried to do it, and I can't do it to save my life, but Don's got it. I wonder, yeah, that would be... interior wise, I guess that would be my biggest complaint. Because you've had to straighten it 6 or more times. Yeah, and we do have this imperfection in the tail light, and we don't know if somebody hit it either with an object or their fist, or if it was because of the rear end repair, there was some pressure back there that caused it. Because, this is they did not replace the tail light when they worked on the car. It could have been stressed from the rear end and then at some point later cracked or whatever. Obviously, lately when we've had a little bit of supercharging, plugging in issues, that appears to be car specific and not supercharger specific. So it's a good thing we didn't replace this, because if we need a new charge port, you got to take all of that off anyway, and we'll just fix it all at the same time. But I don't supercharge that often, and I'm not too worried about it for right now. I was up at Tesla today. That's where I went. Ruby had to go as close to the mothership as she could on her birthday.
Of course.
And there were not less than 200 cars in that parking lot, and a quarter nightmare. I mean,
deliver.
Oh my God. They was like parked in the spaces and parked out front and parked down the lanes, and you almost couldn't drive through the parking lot. There were so many cars. But I got Ruby's picture with the Tesla sign in the background and all those cars, and then I got the heck out of Dodge because I was in the way. I was causing trouble. Traffic jam up there. Yeah. So So Don's going to talk about numbers, and I'm going to talk about Tesla-fi stuff, our usual way we run down our birthdays and end of year stuff.
Yeah.
But I noticed we're near 20,000 miles on the tires. It's probably time to get down low, look at the inside, and make sure we're still looking good.
Yeah, right.
But I would say over time, I'm not as quick to take off from stoplights as I was in the beginning. So maybe these will make 6 more thousand miles or something. But I suspect in the fall, back on the road to school downtown, it won't be too long, and we'll be looking at a fourth set.
Yep.
Fourth set of tires.
I'm sorry.
Poor Donnie, I love you.
Yeah, I love you too.
Yeah, I often have people tell me that they can't believe she's 5 years old, and that's all because Don keeps her looking that good. So I highly commend him doing that. I was bragging on you. Right, she doesn't look 5 years old because you do such a good job keeping her looking good.
Well, I think, yeah, thank you very much, sweetheart.
Well, I'm sure in 5 years it's never gone more than 2 weeks and you haven't washed her. And most weeks she's been washed.
Right, we wash her
7 to 10 days. Yeah.
You know, unless we just get a really bad spell or something.
The absolute coldest, worst part of the winter, maybe.
You know, when I get 10,000 steps, my watch does explosions and fireworks. You mean
I was hoping,
on the
I'd never heard about an Easter egg, but I would be lying if I didn't say I was wishing there was one.
Well, we need to let Elon know he needs an Easter egg for these 100,000 miles, these major milestones.
So if you look in the app right at 121 miles, you know, you get the Back to the Future thing, the Easter egg. So yeah, I was hoping for something like that, but alas, no, because I did get pulled over into a parking lot and look on TeslaFi in the app on the screen. So yeah.